And hello, everyone, all about the gyro. It is great to be back from being away for a week. And I have in front of you some interesting reading. So, the road statistics for season 1 of 2021. So, the first thing is note that this was the second most, quote, unique season, followed by season 2020, season 2. Over 90,000 unique drivers did a road race. The iRating frequency chart. So, if you sit there and go, oh man, I'm only 1,500, well, when you look at the statistics, you are basically near the median. So, let me explain the difference between mean and median. I do have a math degree, so I know what I'm talking about. The median is the direct middle. So if you line up all of the I ratings from 0 to 10,500 plus, the total number of people divide by half, and whatever rating falls halfway through, that's the median. So if you have an odd number, it's one number. If you have an even number, you take those two numbers and average them. So the median, so the lower 50% is less than 1,507. The upper is over that. Now, the average. So, this is the pick a random driver. What is their expected I rating? It's 1,745. So, notice for the 28,000 you have in the 1,000 to 1,500 category, this number right here, this 8,400 and the 2,500, is helping shift the mean just a little bit to the right. You have about 500 off of this mean peak right here. So I find this graph very interesting. So when I say skew left, this is what I'm referring to. It is a little skewed to the left, the way that the x-axis as the bottom axis is presented. Now, if you grouped anyone from 5,000 and higher as one number, you would get a little bit different balance. Let's look at licenses. 14,000 rookies are at 2 or higher. And if you notice, only at C license, you notice that the average rating starts going up. Now, right now, yours truly is A 2.8. So I'm close to the 9% for the 8800, but license frequency. So if you do a D class race, expect your safety rating to be 2 or 3. A C, normally it's a 3, maybe a 2. B, and you see the rest of it. All right, region and clubs, as I misclicked there. So this is the number of drivers based in their regions. The United States well out in front, UK second, Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic third, very closely followed by Iberia and Australia. So if you look at the top half of the service, it's these three clubs right here, followed very closely by Iberia and Australia. So you can say basically 2/3 of the service is from 5 regions. So I'd be very curious to see how this looks in season 2 and also how the membership numbers are. So average I rating. So if you are a Finnish driver, congratulations, you are in the right country for high I rating. The United States, we're the lowest, but we also have the most people. There's a certain regression to the mean. All right, race counts. So this is the total number of races that a driver did in that series. So what happens is when you look at your statistics, it will tell you how many races you do per season and also done as a yearly. Now, I did 38 starts this season. I had 4 top 5s. I averaged 7 incidents a race, but I was in the top 5 10.5% of the time. Now, when I look at this graph, 38 is the midline a little bit. And when you add these 3 numbers, it actually, I'm more trending to the hobbyist. Now, next season, I'm aiming to be here in the yellow group. So keep that in mind. Now, this one I find fascinating. Full season participation. So if you do 2/3 of the season, these are the percentages. So, BMW Simulation Cup, nearly half. So this is the BMW 120 event. So there are some dedicated people to this. Camel GT at 17%. And then you start looking at the Grand Prix Series is the McLaren. The EES had a very nice turnout. GT Endurance has a nice turnout. Skippies. So if you want to race Skippies, know that 11% of them are done the whole season. Now, if you start going down the list, in terms of percentage of full seasoners, I found a couple of interesting things in this data set. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. So 2 drivers did 14 full seasons. That is mind blowing to me. 9,000 did 1 4 season. We are in that category. We did the IMSA series, we got iRacing credit, and we did buy Hockenheim because of that. But you notice if you do 2 full seasons, the drop off is severe. You do 3, the drop off is severe. 4, severe. 5, and you get the idea. So time, very important. So if you are looking to get a certificate, may I direct you to the bottom of this list and say, maybe you should be proficient in one of these? Because I would say anything from supercars down, you may want to be proficient in to see you get a certificate. The Formula IR, only 75 people stuck with it. 2,700 people raced it. Now, the Fanatec Global Challenge, that's your Caddies and Kias. Very nice attendance. The Heisenfeld, I believe that has the old GT cars, GT1 cars. Ricky Mazda, self-explanatory. But only 225 people did 4 of the 6 races for GT Endurance. Radicals, same percentage. Spec Racer Ford. Formula Renault. So look at Formula Renault, 5,100 drivers. So lots of participation, but not a lot of full seasoners. Twice as many as Indy Pro. But Indy Pro has more people by percentage that actually finished. And as you go up the list, you'll see that Formula 3, they have a good turnout, 8.5%. What I'm looking for is the Formula Sprint. Here it is, 7.1%. So look at this and go, okay, if I want to get a chance for a podium for a certificate, look for low numbers, low percentages, both in combination. Those are the series you should be targeting. So very interesting statistics here. Now, strength of field for the series. Now, there is a little bit of skew because they sorted this, it looks like, on highest SOF achieved instead of the average. But the first thing that will stand out, and I'm going to look only at the average, the BMW Sim Cup 3500 strength of field. Very high standard. IMSA 2181, European Sprint Series actually had a higher strength of field and they have much less attendance. So, what I'm looking for in this data set, what are places where I have a lot of splits? So you can have high SOFs and low averages that meets the standard. So look at the Skippies. Highest SOF 4915, but it's only 1458. Why? You have a bunch of splits that are lower. Same thing for the SynLab Production Car Challenge. As you keep going down, Formula Sprint is 1361, Rookies is 1242. Ferrari GT3 Fix is 1370, which I find very, very interesting. So Formula Sprint 1361 looks to be the lowest average strength of field, followed closely by the Ferrari. So if you get out of Rookies, you're like, okay, I need to learn how to race with other drivers. I need a little bit easier curve to do that. Look at this chart and figure participation. So you want high participation and you want low average strength of field. That's the series for you to get many splits. Disqualification percentages. Notice the SimGT is very high. But next up is the SynLab Production Car Challenge. This does not surprise me about this series. From racing it before, there tends to be some DQ issues in that series. Now, what surprises me here after that is the GT Endurance Series, VRS GT Endurance Series, has a near 7% DQ rate. That is very surprising to me. It's an endurance series. It's a 3-hour race. But what that tells me is a lot of people are racing that as it's a sprint. They hit the limit and they're done for. And as you see the rest of the data plus. Now, what's the safest series? Okay. Grand Prix Legends had no DQs. European Endurance Series, extremely low. Now, F3. So, F3, when you look at the number of incidents, 90, actually, not number of incidents, number of starts, near 100,000 starts, but very low incidents in terms of DQs. Interesting. Lots of point twos, lots of good series in point twos. Point threes as well. Very nice. IMSA is 0.6, the same percentage as supercars. So to me, when I'm looking at anything at 1.5 or up, I need to be careful of. We look at all these race starts, 304,000, but only 1.5%. So 1% is right there, and a half is 15. So 4,500 DQs. That's it. Not many. Spec Racer Ford, not surprised. That's a difficult car to drive. Formula Sprint can be difficult to drive. So fascinating. And here is all the links. And what I'm going to look at is the GTE for IMSA. So nearly 12,000 drivers did at an average of 7. As you know, we did drive all 4 vehicles. Now, I am looking at the statistics on another browser here. But notice the participation. 695 did 8 or more. 0.167 incidents per minute. And as you see, it has tapered off a little bit. And here is the number of races with the number of drivers, unique strength of field, in the average incidents per minute. So, to give you an idea of how we did, so we had a top 10 goal. We were 105th. There were 1,034. So we barely missed by a couple of spots getting it. We were at 263. We were tied with somebody, but they did one less week. That's why we got a little bit lower. Now, that person is also getting demoted. And 101 place was only 5 points. So 5 points, we would have been in the top 100. What I'm looking at here is circuits that have high incidence per minute. So Spa, Interlagos, Suzuka, Silverstone, Long Beach. This surprises me about Long Beach, but also look, a lot less people did it. So, Motegi, least participated, but not bad. Now, if you subtract Le Mans, because Le Mans kind of a fluke, Daytona, 0.138, well, that makes sense, is worse than Sebring, and Sebring is very bumpy. Very interesting data. Watkins Glen and Motegi, similar numbers. I agree with that. Road America 0.156. Yeah, I see that. But very interesting data. Here are your average drivers per time slot. Remember, this is based on Greenwich Mean Time. Someone really wants me. And you have strength of field in the rest. So, what we're going to look at is iRatings. So you see the big three right here, and then we're actually right here at the bottom. And here's the championship results. And I don't know if this is done by division. I don't think so. I think that's overall. And here are your people that did the most race starts, most wins, podiums, poles, etc. So you can read that for yourself. And yeah, that's about it. So anyway, that's about it for now. We're going to call it good. And here's the link. You can just read that up here and see your preferred series. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great one. Talk to you later.